Hello children, welcome to HPM classes. In the previous video we have learned about heterotrophic mode of nutrition, in which we have seen that organisms who cannot prepare their own food are directly or indirectly dependent upon autotrophs and other animals for their food. Different heterotrophs get their nutrition in different ways. Like parasitic organisms, they obtain nutrients by living on or in the body of the host. And saprophytic organisms, they feed on dead and decaying matter. And in Holozoic nutrition, the organism feed by ingesting solid organic matter, which is then digested and absorbed into their bodies. The mode of Holozoic nutrition takes place in 5 steps. First one is ingestion. Ingestion is a process of taking in the food into the body through mouth. Then digestion is the process of breaking the insoluble and large food molecules into soluble and minute molecules. Next one is absorption, in which the nutrients from the digested food material are absorbed into the cell cytoplasm by leaving behind the undigested particles. The excess food is stored in the form of glycogen and lipid. Then next one is assimilation, which is a process of obtaining energy from the absorbed food molecules. The absorbed food molecules are utilized for producing the energy required to carry out different functions within the cell. Last one is egestion, which is a process of excretion of undigested food material. All the unicellular organisms as well as the multicellular organisms who follow Holozoic nutrition, they go through all these 5 steps. As we have seen earlier that while taking food, amoeba capture the food with the help of the pseudopodia, and after digestion, the nutrients from the food are directly get absorbed in the cytoplasm of the amoeba cell. But do the higher organisms like us get our nutrition in the same way? No, we are multicellular organisms with very high energy needs. We have a specialized organ system to perform these processes of nutrition. Our digestive system is made up of alimentary canal that starts from our mouth and ends at the anus. And it also includes few digestive glands like liver and pancreas. The alimentary canal is about 30 feet long in adult human beings. Mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, intestines, liver, pancreas, rectum, anus are the organs in the digestive system. The duodenum, jejunum, ileum makes up the small intestine, while cecum, appendix, colon, rectum make up the large intestine and anus. But how does the digestive system work? Food enters into the body through the mouth, and chewing food is the first step in the process of digestion. Complex food is then broken down to the simpler form. The tongue is a muscular organ in the mouth that is covered with moist pink tissue called mucosa. Tiny bumps called papillae give the tongue its rough texture. Thousands of taste buds cover the surfaces of the papillae. These taste buds allow you to experience tastes that are sweet, salty, sour, bitter. Tongue facilitates the movement of food during mastication and assisting swallowing. Whenever we see, smell or taste food, salivary glands secrete saliva in the mouth. Saliva contains salivary enzymes, and about 98 to 99% of saliva is water, and the rest of it contains organic and inorganic substances. But what are these organic and inorganic substances? The main inorganic components present in saliva are electrolytes like sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, chlorides, phosphates, sulfates, and the organic components of saliva are mucus and enzymes. Saliva contains the enzyme amylase that breaks down complex carbohydrates like some starches into simpler carbohydrates like maltose and dextrine. These maltose and dextrine will further get digested in small intestine. But the digestion of food occurs within the mouth even before food reaches the stomach. Saliva also helps in softening the food and convert it into bolus. When we swallow that bolus, it moves down towards the esophagus through pharynx. Present in the throat, the epiglottis, a flap-like structure, closes the windpipe trachea when we swallow so that you don't choke on food moves through a narrower tubular muscular organ called esophagus. The lining of the food canal has muscles that contract and expand rhythmically in order to push the food towards the stomach. This movement is called as peristalsis. At the end of the esophagus, a muscular ring allows the food to enter into the stomach and then closes. The muscular wall of the stomach helps in churning and mixing of the food thoroughly with the gastric juices released by internal wall of the stomach. It contains mucus, acid like hydrochloric acid, and enzymes like pepsin, rennin, and gastric lipase, which helps in breaking food into further smaller pieces. The gastric juices are highly acidic and have pH of 1.5 to 3.5, and they contain almost 99% water. HCl kills the germs that may have entered along with the food. It also creates an acidic medium that activates an enzyme pepsin. Pepsin breaks down protein into peptones and proteases. Rennin is also a protein digesting enzyme which helps in the curdling of milk by transforming soluble caseinozin into insoluble casein. Yes. Then pepsin acts on this insoluble casein and digests it. The mucus present in stomach is a glycoprotein that serves two purposes: the lubrication of food masses in order to facilitate movement within the stomach, and the formation of a protective layer over the inner lining of the stomach cavity. Means it protects the stomach's inner lining from the action of acid. Food stays in stomach for 3 to 4 hours, and then finally the food gets converted into a thick liquid called as chyme. Chyme is acidic and is consisting of gastric juices and partially digested food. The acidic food from the stomach reaches to the duodenum, which is the first part of small intestine, where the fats are present in the form of large globules. These fats are broken down by bile juice secreted by liver. Liver produces bile and stores it in the gallbladder until it is required. Bile contains bile salts that break down the fat into smaller globules. Bile juices also makes the food alkaline for pancreatic and intestinal enzymes to act on it, because pancreatic and intestinal enzymes get ineffective in presence of acidic medium. The pancreas contains pancreatic juice that contain enzymes such as trypsin that helps in further breakdown of peptones into amino acids. They are same peptones which are formed in stomach when pepsin acted on the proteins and converted it into peptones and proteoses. Now, the further breakdown of those peptones took place in duodenum, where these peptones get converted into amino acid. One more enzyme released by pancreas is lipase, which breaks smaller globular fats into fatty acids and further smaller globules, which are called as glycerol. The chyme then reaches to the largest part of the small intestine, that is ileum. In the ileum, the intestinal enzymes act on the food for further digestion. Here, sucrase like isomaltase, maltase, and lactase, they acted on maltose and lactose and convert it into glucose. The inner wall of the small intestine have numerous finger-like projections called as villi. Villi increases the surface area of small intestine to ensure rapid absorption of nutrients. The villi are richly supplied with blood vessels, which help in transportation of nutrients to each and every cell of the body. Although small intestine is narrower than the large intestine, but it is the longest part of the alimentary canal. The length of small intestine is much shorter in carnivores in comparison to the herbivores. This is because the herbivores eat a plant-based fibrous diet that contains cellulose, which is a complex carbohydrate and takes more time to digest. The undigested food and water then move into the cecum of large intestine through the ileocecal valve. Intestine has three main parts: cecum, colon, and rectum. Appendix is a hollow finger-like pouch which hangs at the end of the cecum. It has no function in digestion in humans. However, it is functional in herbivores. It is much longer and helps in digesting their food. The undigested food get traveled all along the colon. The inner lining of colon has villi that absorbs any water from solid waste. This solid material is then collected in the lower part of the large intestine called as rectum. The rectum stores the excreta until it is ready to come out through the anus, through anal sphincters, in the process called egestion. Children, we had talked about enzymes present in saliva. Does it has any ill effect on teeth? Saliva contains buffering agents that protect the teeth from decaying. Yes, when we eat something sugary, bacteria produces an acid that attack the enamel of the teeth. This removes the minerals from the teeth like calcium and phosphates and make them susceptible to decay, thereby forming plaque. Saliva contains minerals that are used to repair tooth decay. The buffering agents present in the saliva neutralizes acids and prevents further tooth decay. So now, let us quickly revise what we have learned so far. We have seen that so many enzymes which are present in the alimentary canal helps in breaking down food into nutrients. First of all, few enzymes which are amylase, sucrase, maltase and lactase, they help in breaking down the carbohydrates into the simpler form which is called as glucose. Pepsin, trypsin, peptidase helps in breaking down complex proteins into simpler amino acids. Then lipase, which is present in the pancreatic juice, it helps in breaking down complex fatty globules into simpler fatty acids and glycerols. Then we have seen that so many minute finger-like projections which are called as villi are present in small and large intestine, which help in the reabsorption of nutrients and water from the food. And finally, the waste material get collected in the rectum and come out with the help of the anal sphincters from the anal, and this process is called as egestion. In the next video, we will learn about respiration. So till then, bye bye. Thank you.